So in the 2013-14 season, Leyton Orient finished third in League One. The following season, in 14-15, they finished 23rd and were relegated back into League Two. They only spent 2 seasons in League Two, and in the 16-17 season, they were relegated out of the Football League. They finished bottom of the table. They spent 2 seasons in non-league though, finishing 13th and then 1st, and found themselves back in the Football League. In their first season, they finished 17th, then 11th, then 13th under Kenny Jackett and Richie Wellens towards the end of last campaign. In the season just gone by, they won the title. Richie Wellens has got his boys back in League One, and in today's video we are going to be discussing what transfer business Leyton Orient need to do to survive relegation from League One. If you do go on to enjoy today's video, please make sure to drop a like on there for me. If you could try and hit 70 likes on today's video, that'd be massively appreciated. Subscribe if you're new as well. We are on the road to 8,000 subscribers, so please make sure you are subscribed if you haven't already, with that post notification bell on. It's free to do so and it does massively help out. Drop a comment in as well down in the comment section down below. Out of all these positions that I suggest, how many do you think Leyton Orient need to improve in? And out of all the specific signings that I suggest as well, who do you think Leyton Orient should sign? Now at the time of recording, I'm recording this at bang on 9 o'clock in the evening on the 22nd of June. So by the time this video does eventually come out, the squad could have updated, they could have signed some more players, they could have had some more contract renewals. But as of right now, here is how the current Leyton Orient squad is looking. Now if a player is highlighted in yellow, they have been offered a new contract with the football club and they are yet to sign it. Omar Beckles was the most recent player to sign a new contract with the football club. He's going to be around for another 2 seasons. Their only proper signing so far this transfer window is Max Sanders. He's come in on a free transfer after being released from Lincoln City. But if we have a look at their squad as a whole, I think they've got a very, very good squad. Obviously, they need to be keeping hold of some of their key players like Vigouroux, Happy, and Paul Smythe. And then if you can keep hold of Sweeney and Byrne, that'll be 2 bonuses as well. But they've got a good foundation here of some really, really good players. Now, clearly, they are lacking in a few areas. And I know both players who are selected to play at right back can also play left back, but they're more naturally right backs, as they are both naturally right-footed. So I have put Tom James and Rob Hunt over on that right-hand side, but I'm more than aware that they can play left back. In terms of some suggestions, then, if every single one of them players who has been off the new contract signs a new contract with the football club, obviously if a player rejects it, then they will need to replace that player. But I don't think they're going to need any more goalkeepers. I don't think they need any more right backs. I don't think they need any more right-sided centre-backs or left-sided centre-backs, in my opinion. I think they need another natural left-back. They need a holding midfielder, a box-to-box midfielder, an attacking midfielder, 1 right winger, 1 left winger, and 2 strikers as well. Let's get into my suggestions. Starting out with left-back then, I am going to suggest Luke Garber, recently released by Blackpool, 30 years of age, so comes in and provides some experience. That is something that Leyton Orient really lack in their team. It's a very young squad, and I think they're going to need someone like a Darren Pratley in that midfield. They're going to need a few more experienced heads in there. I think Luke Garber, as a good rotation player between him and Sweeney, depending on the type of opposition that you're playing, would work really well, in my opinion. Obviously on a free transfer. Last season made 8 appearances in the Championship. The season prior to that made 17 appearances in the Championship. So he's got that experience of playing in higher divisions. I think he would be a really, really solid addition for Richie Wellens' side. Last season in the Championship, he averaged 1.4 interceptions per game, 1.5 tackles per game, and 1.1 clearances per game as well. Very good going forward with 26% of his crosses being accurate, averaging 0.5 dribbles per 90, 67% of them have been successful, 3.4 total duels, 2.3 on the ground, winning 58% of them, and 1.1 on the floor, winning 1.1 in the air, winning 41% of them as well. I think he would be a really, really good signing for Richie Wellens' side, and obviously will provide some good competition for Jaden Sweeney if he is to sign that new contract at left back. In terms of my holding midfielder suggestion, now I think more than likely this will be, again, like Garber, a bit more of a rotation player. Again, someone with experience. I'm going to suggest Ryan Tunnicliffe, recently released by Portsmouth, again, got that League One experience, and I think as a rotation player between him and Pratley, I think that could work really well. They need some experience in there, so a couple of these suggestions have certainly got that experience. Last season made 30 appearances for Portsmouth, chipped in with 1 goal and 3 assists, created 3 big chances, averaging 0.9 key passes per game. He had an 89% passing accuracy in his own half and a 78% passing accuracy in the opposition half, with 55% of his long balls being accurate. 0.5 interceptions per game, 1.4 tackles per game, and 0.7 clearances per game as well, averaging 0.2 dribbles per 90, 88% of his dribbles being successful, averaging 2.1 ground duels per 90, winning 59% of of them, and 0.8 aerial duels per 90, winning at 50% of them. I think as a rotational player in the centre of midfield on a free transfer with the experience that Tunnicliffe has got of the teams like Portsmouth and Millwall, I think this would be a really impressive signing in my opinion as that holding midfielder, but he could probably even do a job as that more box-to-box role. As that number 8 box-to-box sort of midfielder, I am obviously going to suggest Idris El Mahdi. If they can get him back on a permanent, that would be absolutely incredible, but I think more than likely it will be another loan deal. With Ipswich being promoted into the Championship and how stacked their midfield is, they've got so many quality central midfielders, I don't really see where Idris El Mahdi fits in, and at 22 years of age, he's got to be playing week in, week out, so a loan move back to Leyton Orient makes the perfect sense for everybody. He can play in that number 6 role, but I think in my opinion, he is best as a number 8. Played 41 matches last season, starting 40 of them, chipped in with 3 goals and 2 assists with an 84% passing accuracy, 87% in his own half and 81% in the opposition half, 52% of his long balls being accurate, 45% of his chip passes being accurate, and 40% of his crosses being accurate as well, averaging 1.7 interceptions per game, 1.3 clearances per game and 2.9 tackles per game as well, averaging 0.7 dribbles per 90, 69% of them being successful, averaging 5.3 total duels per 90, 4.1 on the ground winning 53% and 1.2 in the air winning 54%. He was absolutely incredible for Leyton Orient last season. Without him, I don't think winning the league is as comfortable in my opinion. He was one of the best players, if not the best player in the league last season, really did go under the radar at times, and in my opinion would be a perfect option in that central midfield role to go along with the likes of Max Sanders, who they've brought in. Jordan Brown as well recently signed a new contract with the football club. If they can get El Mahdi back, that would be an absolutely incredible signing in my opinion. Now, there isn't too many attacking midfielders currently available on free transfers, so I'm going to suggest Danny Mayer, recently released by Plymouth Argyle, obviously won the league title with the Pilgrims last season, 32 years of age, so I think this will be a shorter term contract, maybe a 1 year with the potential of him getting a further year if he plays a certain amount of appearances. Last season for Plymouth though, played 30 matches, starting 23 of them, chipped in with 1 goal and 5 assists, creating 3 big chances, averaging 1.3 key passes per game with an 85% passing accuracy in his own half and a 73% passing accuracy in at the opposition half, averaging 0.9 successful dribbles per 90, 0.9 dribbles per 90, 69% of them being successful, 2.3 ground duels per 90, winning 57% of them, and 0.4 aerial duels per 90, winning 31% of them. Again, provides that experience, and I think as someone to rotate with George Moncur in that role, I think it would be an absolutely perfect signing. Or even if Moncur is underperforming, you bring in someone with the quality of Danny Mayer. I think that is one position where they were a little bit light last season as an actual George Moncur replacement. They've not really got anyone else, or didn't have anyone else who can play that role as good as Moncur, and I think Danny Mayer would be more than good enough to fill that role and could potentially even displace him in their side, in my opinion. Moving on to my 2 winger suggestions then. On the right wing, I am going to suggest Scott Banks. Recently been playing with my team Bradford City, now finds himself back with Crystal Palace, and I think he would be an absolutely incredible signing for the O's in my opinion. Last season in League 2 with Bradford City, he scored 9 goals and chipped in with 3 assists from 21 starts. Really brilliant player in my opinion, ready now to make that step up into League 1, and I think because of location, obviously with Charlton Athletic, with Crystal Palace being his parent club, I think the location is going to be a good factor for Leyton Orient. I think Charlton looks a more likely destination at the moment, with him obviously being a potential replacement for Jezran Raksaki, but I think if Orient can get him in on a year's loan, I think that would be an incredible signing. He averages 34.6 touches per 90, created 4 big chances, averaging 1.2 key passes per game, with 18% of his crosses being accurate as well. He averaged 1 dribble per 90, 40% of them being successful. He was fouled on 0.8 occasions per game as well, but 9 goal contributions in 21 starts in a Mark Hughes system is really impressive. Imagine what he can do under attacking football under Richie Wellens. I think he'd be a perfect signing for Leyton Orient. He's ready now to make that step up into League 1, and I think whether Paul Smythe stays or not, Scott Banks is certainly good enough to displace him in my opinion. I really do rate him that highly. I think Banksy, the ceiling is as high as he wants it to be honest with you. I think he's absolutely incredible, and if they can get him in on loan for a season, I think that would be a really good signing. Moving over to my left winger suggestion, there wasn't really too many left wingers, and I'm more than aware this man's going to be injured until around January time, but I'm going to suggest Ronan Curtis. Recently turned down a new contract with Portsmouth as well. He's been there for a number of years now, at least 5 or 6 seasons. Yes, he had his injury problems last season, and he's going to be out until January with an ACL injury, so it's a little bit of a gamble, but Theo Archibald is more than likely going to be your starting winger. And again, yes, he's a bit injury prone, but there isn't really many wingers out there available on free transfers at the moment, so you're going to have to pay transfer fees. Ronan Curtis, though, we all know about what he's done over the past couple of seasons. Last season, only got the 2 goals and no assists, but he only made the 13 starts last season. Really did struggle with injuries. In the previous season, in 21/22, he got 8 goals and 9 assists, so in the right system, he's certainly got the quality to score goals. In the 20/21 campaign in League One, he scored 10 goals and chipped in with 7 assists, and then in the 19/20 season, he chipped in with 12 goals and 5 assists, so he's proven at this level. Again, under Richie Wellens at 27 years of age, still plenty of time for him to develop. If he can get back to his goal scoring form, he's a fantastic player at this level, should even be potentially playing higher at the Championship. This injury has come at a really horrible time in his career. Never nice to see someone pick up an ACL injury, but I think he would be an absolutely incredible signing, a perfect fit as well for that Richie Wellens style of play. I think he would be absolutely brilliant on a free transfer. And the final position then is a striker. I'm going to suggest 2 strikers here. First up is Sam Smith, recently released by Cambridge United, available on a free transfer. The 25-year-old last season scored 13 goals and chipped in with 1 assist in 41 starts, and the previous season to that in League One scored 15 goals and chipped in with 1 assist, so he's clearly proven to get into at least double figures in League One, can play in a pair, can even play on the right wing, can play as a lone striker. He's really versatile and a really good finisher as well. Averages 2.9 at shots per game, 1.1 at shots on target per game. He did miss 14 big chances last season, but he's a finisher. 6 headed goals, 4 left-footed goals, 3 right-footed goals as well. Created 1 big chance, averaging 0.5 key passes per game. He's a fox in the box type player, and Orient didn't really have a natural striker last season. Obviously, Aaron Drinnen had his injury problems. Charlie Kelman wasn't really up to scratch. Obviously, Harry Smith was loaned out to Exeter for the first half of the campaign. I think overall for me, Sam Smith would be a perfect signing for Leyton Orient. Not too far away from Cambridge as well, so he's not going to be having to move too far. And in my opinion, I think this would be a really good signing. If they don't want Sam Smith, someone else who I would suggest would be Tyler Walker, recently released by Coventry City as well. And while he's had struggled form really over the last couple of seasons with Coventry, the last time that he was playing week in week out, really, I mean, he only got 20 starts in the 20/21 campaign, but he scored 7 goals and chipped in with 2 assists in the Championship, which I think is really good in my opinion. Prior to that, in the 19/20 season, he scored 14 goals and chipped in with 3 assists. But like what I say, he struggled for minutes over the last couple of seasons, but he's a proven goal scorer at League 2 and League 1 level, was key to Coventry winning the title in League 1 a couple of seasons ago, and I think it would be a really, really good signing. Can play striker, can play left wing, and again, out of all these transfers, I think he's certainly one of the better ones on there. All of these will either be free transfers or on loan, and I think they're all really good suggestions that would suit the Richie Wellens style of play. In terms of a potential lineup, now in terms of the formation, Leyton Orient last season played a 4-2-3-1 on 24 occasions, a 4-3-3 on 18 occasions, a 4-4-2 on 5 occasions, a 5-3-2 once, a 4-1-2-1-2 once, and a 4-3-2-1 once as well. Now, in terms of how we'd line up, obviously it's going to be some sort of a 4-2-3-1, 4-3-3 variation, but I've gone with a 4-2-3-1. Now, don't forget, this is if everybody does sign a new contract with the football club. I would personally line up then with Lawrence Vigouroux in goal, a back four of Tom James, Omar Beckles, Dan Happe and Luke Garber, with Idris El Mahdi and Ryan Tunnicliffe in the midfield, Paul Smythe and Theo Archibald on the wings, with George Moncur in behind Sam Smith. So even though I've suggested a lot of players there, not many of them really would start right now because of how good Leyton Orient were last season. On the bench, that would leave Reese Byrne, Rob Hunt, Shadrach, I probably pronounced his name wrong, Ogie, Darren Pratley, Scott Banks, Danny Mayer and Aaron Drinnen. So some really good quality players not even making the squad. Max Sanders could probably make the bench over Darren Pratley. Jordan Brown not even involved in the matchday squad. So there's some really talented players who wouldn't make it. Ruel Satiriou, Jaden Sweeney, like there's some really talented players there who would not make my squad, but it's the sort of competition that you're going to need if you are willing to make that step up into League One. I'm going to leave it there though for today's video. If you have enjoyed, please make sure to drop a like on there for me. If you could try and hit 70 likes. As I said at the start of today's video, that'd be massively appreciated. Subscribe if you are new as well. We are on the road to 8,000 subscribers, so please make sure you are subscribed if you haven't already, with that post notification bell on. It's free to do so and it does massively help out. Drop a comment in as well down in the comment section down below. Let me know, Orient fans, do you think you need to improve in these positions as well? And out of all the players that I've suggested, how many of them players would you take? Now, there's no plan for a video for at least the next 10, 11 days, something like that. If Bradford City make a sign-in or something major happens, I'll get a video out, but there is now no plan for a video for the next 10 days. Thank you very much for watching today's video though. Have a good rest of your day and I'll see you all very soon for another one. Peace.